Coming up on Medical Economics Weekly, will doctors order fewer tests if they know how much they cost? The recession has lowered health costs, and Big Pharma complains about the academic detailing program. All that and more coming up. You're watching Medical Economics Weekly. I'm Kevin Stout.
I'm Brandon Glenn, and this is the show where we keep you up to date on trending news about healthcare, practice management, and healthcare social media. A new study by Johns Hopkins researchers finds that one way of reducing health costs may be to inform physicians of the costs of the tests they order. Here's how they did the study. Researchers separated 60 common tests into two groups, one in which physicians were informed of costs at the point of order, and another in which they were not informed of costs. Here's what they found. When physicians knew the cost, orders dropped by 9%. When they didn't know the cost of a test, orders increased by 5%. Researchers concluded that informing physicians of test fees was a simple, unobtrusive, and successful way to alter physician behavior.
According to the National Organization for Rare Disorders, it takes the average rare disease patient 9 years to get an accurate diagnosis. FindZebra, a search engine dedicated to diagnosing rare diseases, is a resource for physicians for those rare zebra cases. What sets FindZebra apart from Google and other search engines is that it only indexed a select number of databases on rare diseases. The result is highly significant search results on a number of rare diseases. For example, the MIT Technology Review did a sample search on boy, normal birth, deformity of both big toes, missing joint, quick development of bone tumor near spine, and osteogenesis at biopsy. FindZebra was able to return the correct diagnosis, which is fibrodysplasia ossificans progressiva. Google, however, did not display that condition in any of its results. Visit findzebra.com to learn more and try out your own searches.
With Obamacare dominating healthcare headlines, most Americans may have missed some important and also very good news that for once has nothing to do with Obamacare. That is, healthcare cost growth has slowed to its lowest level since the government began tracking it about 50 years ago. The obvious question, then, is why? New research from the Kaiser Family Foundation sheds a little light on that question, and it finds that 77% of the reason behind that cost growth slowdown can be attributed to the recession. That means that, unfortunately, we can expect health costs to soar in the coming years the way they did before the recession. However, the positive spin on this is that if 77% of the slowdown can be attributed to the economy, then that means that 23% of the slowdown are things that the healthcare industry can control. And that gave researchers hope that things such as managed care and changes to the healthcare delivery system like accountable care organizations could bring about savings in the future.
Dr. Russell Faust wrote on AnikaMedia.com about why physicians should blog and use social media. In the post, Why Physicians Like Me Blog, he makes a clear distinction between using social media and blogging because you have to, and actually getting involved. He says the holy grail of healthcare marketing is for physicians to be present in the digital world and actually participate. He uses celebrity blogging doctors as perfect examples, including Seattle Mama Doc and Kevin MD. Faust also discusses one of the most commonly addressed problems about social media, return on investment. He goes on to list the benefits of social media on a physician's practice, including a larger market share, being recognized as an authority in your area of practice, and connecting with your patients. We plan on interviewing Dr. Faust in the coming weeks. Keep an eye on medicaleconomics.com and this podcast for more details.
One of the most frequent complaints we hear from physicians at Medical Economics is that they hate the electronic health record systems that are on the market today. A group of 6 Republican senators recently released a report that indicates they're feeling physicians' pain. The report says that health IT policy could be headed in the wrong direction, in part because EHRs could increase health costs. One of the main reasons for that is what senators call code creep. Code creep is when EHRs autofill templates and make it easier for physicians to bill for more services. The senators also mention what is probably the number one complaint we hear about EHRs, that is their lack of interoperability or their ability to share data between different vendor systems. The senators note that these problems leave them concerned that $35 billion in taxpayer money that the federal government has earmarked for health IT is not being spent effectively.
Matthew Herper reports on Forbes about a rising complaint among big pharma executives, the Obama administration's academic detailing program. For those unfamiliar, the program consists of representatives from the federal government being sent out to help doctors select prescription drugs for their patients. Unsurprisingly, the complaint seems to stem from the push for more generics, which in turn reduces sales of branded drugs. Herper goes on to criticize the main point of the argument of Pfizer CEO Ian Read. Read claimed that the program was a waste of public money and that the federal reps weren't bound by the same rules of truthfulness that pharmaceutical reps are. Herper rightly points out that if the program is reducing the sales of branded drugs, it's obviously saving the public money, not wasting it. Herper notes that the point about the reps' rules are fair, but then points out the long history of misbehavior accounting for the rules in the first place, including recent allegations against Novartis using dinners at Hooters and fishing trips to promote medicines. And now for the tweet of the week. In response to an article published in the February 25th issue of Medical Economics by Dr. Craig Wax, user ImagesMD comments on the question of how Americans will deal with Plato population medicine versus Hippocratic individual medicine. He replies, "The state trumps individual rights only when its leaders are virtuous. For both political parties, virtue is scarce." Thanks for your feedback, ImagesMD, and to be featured here, mention us on Twitter at MedEconomics. Thanks for watching Medical Economics Weekly. To get more episodes as they're released, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter at MedEconomics, or like us on Facebook at facebook.com/medical-economics. And send suggestions and feedback to bglenn@advancedstar.com or tasteout@advancedstar.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back soon with more healthcare and practice management news. Don't miss it.